good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time zone it is, wherever you in the world. It is your Lore Saviour, and it's finally happened. White Wolf / Renegade / Paradox, whatever, have been caught red-handed by using Generative AI in their latest Vampire the Masquerade sourcebook, Tattered Facade, which I was initially worried about because I thought it was going to butcher the description of the fucking Barley, which I covered very briefly in a video that's going to appear in the corner right now. But I would not have expected them to dive so fucking low into using generative AI so fucking blatantly. Like, they're going to appear on the fucking screen right now. Yeah, this is bad. Like, this isn't even like a good attempt to hide it. Like, at best, this is an artist who just used it to accelerate their work process. And in fact, when somebody else asked Renegade about it, they put up the sketches that said artist did, side by side, and doesn't look that much better, to be honest. The main difference is that one's black and white, the one's in colour, and then you compare that to some of the other art pieces that the artists have done on their ArtStation page, and they're much better. Yeah, you could see some resemblances for sure, but one clearly outranks the other. So to me, this creates the impression that they started out with a sketch and then they funneled things through with some sort of bit of AI software. I have no idea how that sort of thing would work. I haven't done a lot of research into it, but I know that's something that a handful of artists do. And despite the fact that we have on the artist page a #NoAI prompt there, something's gone wrong somewhere. So if it's not then, is it Renegade? Is it Paradox? Because there's some very weird things going on. And even if it's not AI, that Kindred shouldn't be so fucking close to the flames. Because that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And it just looks so generic. And it's sloppy. And generative AI just seems to only do one shade of fucking red either. Like, it's so bizarre and insulting. Because whether you like it or not, 5th edition work has generally got some really good artwork. White Wolf products and the World of Darkness have some fantastic art. Most of it's black and white, yeah, and the stuff that Onyx Path did, you know, for the 20th anniversary edition line, and some minor cases of revised stuff in colour, they're fantastic. They have a huge, strong legacy. White Wolf has had this humongous legacy with its artwork that sort of revolutionised and popularised whole fucking subcultures. And now that we're sort of making the new legacy of generative AI slop, it's outrageous. But how do I know about all of this? Well, a friend of mine and recent moderator of the Lore by Night Discord server pointed out that the V5 diehard fan and TTRPG actual play performer, micro-celebrity, however you want to call them, Vin Fox, who was actually a player in the Pride by Night one-shot that I did a few years ago, purchased the $50 sourcebook, and keep in mind that for Renegade, the V5 core book is $55, that there's generative AI in there. $50, and you're not even getting original fucking artwork? Like, and I've argued on Blue Sky. I'll leave my whole thread in a description below, and I know some people get triggered by Blue Sky because it's like some left millennial fucking woke snowflake nonsense, so sorry in advance, I guess. I don't like fucking Twitter anymore. I never really liked Twitter, but there you go. Well, I sort of cover and just vent about things. Like, I've vented about for years, starting with the fucking player's guide, that I feel there's some essences of generative AI art slipping through, and no one believed me, or rather, very few of you believed me. That it was just another list of the things that I'm just hateful about, just the new breed of artists or whatever. I have vented for many years now about the sudden drop at the, well, it felt sudden at the time, but it's now more gradual, of the quality and the care behind their editing, the formatting, weird-ass lore choices of the writing. And with the Renegade PDFs, you know, the whole, oh, pre-order this book and you get a free PDF, which that's not how that works. Like, you purchase the fucking PDF with the core book. So again, you're paying $50 for a PDF here. Although I'm prepared to argue that if you buy a core book from a site, you should get the PDF with it. But you know, it's just the language that's used that I've mentioned before. Like, it's not like buy one get one free. It's like, no, you purchase it, and this is the things that you get with the money. Like, and just going back to what I was originally saying before I got sidetracked, like the PDFs come out from Renegade and the formatting's off, the file sizes are fucking huge, the constant spelling errors, and whilst I haven't had a look at Tattered Facade yet, I have heard from more than one source that the layout and the presentation just takes a massive departure from what other 5th edition books do, which is really fucking bizarre to me. Look, it's not a core book, so there's no real reason for it to change. It's a fucking source book. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just the lack of consistency with Renegade, and if World of Darkness / White Wolf or Paradox doesn't have any fucking input, what the fuck are they doing? Maybe they should. Like, there is a notable drop in quality going on. Okay, so we've seen what Renegade has said or done about it, and by done I mean fuck all. But what has White Wolf have done themselves? What have World of Darkness or Paradox? What have any of those two mentioned? World of Darkness / White Wolf have advertised new jobs for White Wolf, because remember, as we kind of touched upon in the recent video talking about the return of White Wolf, they're bringing things in-house again in Stockholm in Sweden, and they're assembling an awesome team to make awesome based products for you. That is until you have a look at each of the job descriptions, scroll down to the bottom, and all of them have that. Yeah, AI is a really important part of Paradox's workflow. Now, as explained by Jason Cole in this reply here, it's not referring to generative AI, it's just talking about office tool things like Grammarly and Asana, and it's a standard thing that Paradox done. However, those two specific examples presents an interesting little problem. You can probably see where this is going. Both of these use generative AI in their software. Now, Asana, from my understanding, is an opt-out sort of thing. That's like a very typical like scheduling tool. So basically, an automated calendar. And you can opt out of the generative AI tools rather than opting in. It's always a case of opting out of something shitty rather than opting into something shitty. Gee, I wonder why that is. And with Grammarly, that also uses generative AI, and both of them use the same learning module that ChatGTP uses. And I can speak a bit more about Grammarly because I have mentioned in videos in the past that I use Grammarly. There's actually a year-long project that I'm currently working on where I highlight this, that Grammarly are integrating more generative AI stuff into their workflow, and it was at one point just the editing and stuff, like you type things into a little box saying that make this sound like such and such, but now it's actually bleeding in over to the actual grammar stuff as well. And with Grammarly, there are fucking blog post after blog post after blog post talking about the benefits of using generative AI, which are the best, how to use it ethically, how to detect AI, which is fair as a decent thing, I suppose, but Grammarly were one of the first to fucking jump on that bandwagon in 2023, I want to say. And they're a real advocate for it as well. So, the honchos at White Wolf and Paradox are using generative AI in their workflow. And they're bringing all of this in-house. Who's to say that they're going to include this sort of stuff in your vampire books, in your werewolf books, in the upcoming Changeling and Dark Ages stuff that was teased a while ago? Do you want this? Do you want generative AI slop taking up huge page spreads that paints the vague illusion of a vampire that may or may not exist within the world of darkness? Do you want things that are thematically incorrect and inconsistent? Oh wait, you're already doing that if you're buying 5th edition stuff. And we're not even talking about the fucking generative AI slop at the moment. And I've hinted and talked about all of this happening for years now. And we're now going to go on to a little rant that some people are not going to like. And if it doesn't affect you because I'm not talking to you a lot, that's great. But there's a large fucking base of you that needs to hear what I'm about to say. Most of the blame for this slop, this shit, is all down to Paradox, right? It's their product. They should have a bit of a firmer control about what and isn't okay. A lot of it is to do with White Wolf and World of Darkness, who are supposed to oversee and approve these things and to see if things are thematically and lore accurate, right? And I know that White Wolf are sort of establishing themselves, and these more recent things, you could argue, shouldn't be affecting them at the moment, but again, World of Darkness as a brand should be having a look at these and highlighting them. Even if they can't pick up the generative AI stuff, they should have a look at the piece and think, that doesn't fit within our World of Darkness, that doesn't look like Vampire the Masquerade. And then again, I'm saying that through my subjective bias lens, but you know what I'm trying to say here. They should have a firmer control on these things. And of course, it should be down to Renegade not to put out this shit as well, to sort out the formatting stuff, not send out like beta testing PDF and then using fan feedback to edit shit all the time. That's what you're supposed to be doing as a fucking company, not making your readers being fucking free editors and proofreaders, which again is something that I have mentioned many times before. And again, when I highlighted this, I got a lot of hate for it. I got a lot of people telling me to be more grateful that this is like fucking Onyx Path stuff and other Kickstarter companies that do this. It's like, if they do that, they make it very clear, Renegade, do not do this, which is a bit fucking disingenuous. And to be so openly disingenuous and so silent in the expectations and the treatment of the fans who they know will come back and say this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, it's quite frankly disrespectful and it takes the piss, right? I do not like it, but I've talked a lot about this before in a video already. But a lot of criticism and a lot of blame for this are you. Not the fans who haven't been purchasing the 5th edition stuff because you don't like it for one reason or another, but the most militant of 5th edition fans, or even the ones that don't defend it till the cows come home, but the ones that don't openly criticise World of Darkness, White Wolf, Renegade, whatever, that you just happily lap up the goodies because it's just new material, that it doesn't bother you for one reason or another. You're just grateful to have all this new stuff. For all the people who love Werewolf 5th edition and don't have to worry about homebrewing that older stuff in because they've made a new book for you now that came out fairly fucking quickly, I have to say, in comparison to all the other Werewolf stuff that they got, because Renegade / White Wolf noticed that people were homebrewing that shit back in, so we're just going to retcon our retcon. But just talking about the quality and the presentation and the writing and how that we are now seeing generative AI artwork in a $50 sourcebook, and the fact that White Wolf also, for many years, were hiring an artist that kept tracing over people who who downloaded stock art kind of illegally because it contained a fucking Adobe watermark in them, who culturally appropriate stuff, and it happens so frequently. This is down to the fans who didn't stick up for World of Darkness, against World of Darkness, against Renegade, and against Paradox ultimately at the end of the day. So for all those people who haven't done that, and for being a bit salty and bitter about it, all the people who have gone online, who've complained about me because I'm just a hater, I don't like 5th edition, I don't like World of Darkness, for those of you who have been passively or full-on aggressive with me in Discord servers because you accuse me of doing this, that and the other based on a bunch of lies that people have stretched out of proportion, like people who lie about me, basically, such as people who have lied to you about the authenticity of the artwork and the written material in your fucking books. This is also down to you. You have allowed them to not just walk over you, the older fans, but a 34-year legacy of awesome artwork and writing material. And you should all be fucking ashamed. The militant fans and the die-hard V5 fans, Renegade, World of Darkness / White Wolf, and especially Paradox. It's ridiculously shameful. And I hate the fact to say that I was just right with all of that. You know, some of you probably think that I just run around in my free time wearing a fucking tinfoil hat, this weird-ass, grumpy, British, bearded, conspiracy theorist nutter, warning people for years about this, that and the other, And just as a little side note, I know that we have like many content creators out there who have made their content based on hate. But can we have a look about where I started making content to where we are now? Why people know me, the very nature of my name. Do you think I would be calling out this company so much if I effectively didn't love the material that they could be putting out, that they have put out, and I expect them and demand better from them because the fans deserve better? I do not like to focus my energy so much on some things that are so bad and hateful. Contrary to popular belief, it's for this reason why I don't do lore dives anymore. I know, a guy called Lore by Night does not like doing lore dives. I don't find them fun, I don't find them engaging, they cause me a lot of stress. I just don't fucking like doing them. At times I just fucking hate doing it, to be honest. And I don't like for the amount of hard work that I put into them and the little good that I get back from it. It doesn't serve me any purpose, so I don't do it. I don't cover a lot of Bloodlines 2 new stuff. I could have gone through every single fucking dev post upload thing. Game Informer recently have an article to do with Bloodlines 2, but I don't care. I just know that what I'm going to see is going to annoy me, and I would much rather wait to see the final project to make my final judgments, reviews, or whatever on it now. So I'm not covering it. I've covered things that I think are important to share, but I love the World of Darkness. I love Vampire the Masquerade. I love its artwork and its writing when it's good and it's not being offensive. But what we have been seeing for the last 4 or 5 years now is just offensive to the integrity and the legacy of the brand, but also the intelligence of its readers, its lovers and its admirers. And this is just a new fucking low to their hellish gatekeeping. I also know there's going to be at least one fucking chuckle fuck. Oh well, every fucking corporation uses generative AI now. Everyone uses generative AI. This is the way forward. Moan and complain about it's not going to change anything. Think about any fucking bad thing in history that could have remained the same had it not been for people who were angry and pissed off and did something about it, who openly and proudly complained that it was fucking bullshit, for fuck's sake. Think about NFTs, the huge fucking thing they were for like a year and a bit. But nobody fucking liked them, and also another reason why companies didn't like them, because they couldn't make any fucking money off of them. Because people didn't like them so much, and the whole thing with cryptocurrencies is the fact that it's so fucking flaky and difficult to fucking regulate. I think Ubisoft still dabbles with that sort of thing, but this isn't about them, and I don't really fucking care. Just because it's becoming the norm doesn't mean that it should be. It's a huge level of issues with this. The environmental costs, how it's a tool for the fascists, for censorship. And everybody is just letting it happen. And I'm generalising here because I know that people are having protests and their riots and we're all sharing the right bits and pieces of social media. But just to rein things back within the World of Darkness, I seem to be the only one that is calling people out on this. And now I become the fucking bad guy for it. Like, why are you booing me? I'm right! It's obscene, and I wish that so many people who focused on World of Darkness content had the fucking backbone to do this. I wished that the most diehard of fans could pull their heads out the arseholes of the sacred holy faces of World of Darkness and White Wolf, Jason Carl and Outstar, or whoever the fuck is claiming that mantle these days, and actually realise that what they're reading and what they're looking at is fucking garbage. It's sloppy, it's messy, it's poorly formatted, it's poorly fucking edited. It's a mess. And we could be doing so much better. But once again, it is down to your fucking Lore Saviour to cause a kickstorm, to kick up a storm and just piss people off, to stir drama, to clickbait, to lie and exaggerate about things. I'm fucking sick and tired of it. I'm sick and fucking tired of making these things and being called out like this, when in any other fucking situation, people are complaining about this. And I will mention again, as I do every single fucking time I do one of these videos, if it was fucking D&D, or Wizards of the Coast, the entire TTRPG sphere would have a fucking aneurysm. When D&D fucked up their OGL licensing, that shit crossed over into the mainstream so fucking hard. I was listening to it on fucking BBC Radio fucking 4, which doesn't mean much to most of you, but that's... I wouldn't expect to hear that sort of stuff when you just have a bunch of old tosser white people, for the most part, just talking about liberal viewpoints. And I word it as such because I don't like the liberal mindset. I'm very much on the left side of things. But saying that something is liberal does have certain negative connotations to it, as I'm sure we're all aware. But I'm sick and fucking tired of being the only one who voices these fucking opinions. I'm sick and fucking tired of being the only one who ever gets fucking worked up for it. I wish that people would do the same. I wish people could share the fucking hatred with me. Both the hatred and the frustration and the anger of a company that has changed so many people's lives. But also the hatred that I would get. I wish other people could share the fucking blame, so it wouldn't be a burden on my fucking mental health all the time, my emotional well-being. I wish I didn't get all the fucking hate from World of Darkness staff who are incapable of taking any fucking consequences of their shitty actions. This is the most angry I have felt in a fucking video in a while. Most worked up I have been. It's not fair. The community, this inclusive family space that's supposed to be looking out for everyone, is failing because we are now allowing generative AI slop and writing to dictate what should and shouldn't be the World of Darkness image. It's disgusting. And I hate it. And I hate getting so worked up about something that, to many others, is so fucking insignificant, petty and puerile. So I'll put together this video and edit it and put it out because it needs to be said and it needs to be talked about. But I am loathing the consequences that I will get, which, again, at the end of the day, will seem so fucking menial because it's not physical. But doing shit like this is damning to my mental health. It's part of the reason why I'm trying to cover things outside of the World of Darkness, so I could share more exciting horror and non-horror things with my viewers. But that also isn't working because my views are fucking tanking, thank you very much, YouTube. So I'm going to say what I said very recently in my Thursday video regarding inclusivity, queerness and censorship. Be the fucking change that you want to be. If you don't like generative AI, in art, written form, however, if you don't want your work to be censored by fucking slop and garbage, if you want a fucking World of Darkness and White Wolf that comes back to its glory notes, don't just comment under this video and hope and pray and send out your thoughts and prayers and wishes because it's doing jack shit. Make them know, respectfully, because I don't want people to turn around that I'm encouraging people to harm members of World of Darkness staff, which was the most recent of controversies with its staff that I had with them, because something was stretched way out of fucking proportion, taken out of context, knowingly. Let them know. With your words, and your wallet. Make them see and feel that we want to change. That's a bit more than just returning to White Wolf, because that's what people liked. And a reshuffling of its fucking team and bringing in people that may or may not do this brand justice. I can't believe I'm just about to say these words again, publicly, but I am so tired and fed up with World of Darkness, which I hate saying because it's been such an important part of my life these last few years. Found love, relationship. I have discovered my identity, my sexuality through them. In many ways I've never felt happier, but in many ways my mental health is just getting fucking worse. I would like some change, but I know people aren't going to listen to me and bring about that change. They're just going to make fun of somebody who a couple of minutes ago was just shouting loudly to himself, walking with his dog in the middle of a field because there's some things in a book that he doesn't like. Then again, maybe some of you should have a bit more passion and love and expect more from a company, but what the fuck do I know, really? Yeah, till next time, farewell.